the two cities where flights are no longer scheduled because of weather. In fact, take a look at this flight information board. Here's departures canceled, 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 and canceled.
If I leave it on the ground and walk away, it could easily become a suspicious bag. The gunman is dead, and at least 2 victims were transported to the hospital. The officers have to wear their entire gear, not only for safety, but to actually simulate a mass shooting situation. Kids aren't ready for seatbelts until they're around 4 feet 9 inches tall. It's closed off to harvesting right now, so they can dump these shells in the water, which attach to oysters, allowing them to replenish. If the bill passes, customers will get at least 6% off of their purchase on Small Business Saturday. Charred debris is all that remains in the room that burned down without fire sprinklers. Other features as well, you can take a picture of damage and report the unlicensed activity. Bad call, ref! Come on, get your head in the game. The law says if a coach is tossed out of the game, they're automatically suspended for the rest of the season.
Start with breaking news out of Florida. That frightening shooting at Florida State University that sent the campus into lockdown for hours overnight. Garin Flowers from our NBC affiliate WTLV is there. Garin, good morning to you.
Good morning. Police are investigating how and why the gunman started shooting in the lobby of the Strozier Library, a multi-story building and a popular hub of activity here on FSU's Tallahassee campus. The gunman is dead, and at least 2 victims were transported to the hospital, one in critical condition, the other unknown.
Department, there has been a shooting in the library.
A quiet campus turned into chaos early this morning after a gunman opened fire in the library at Florida State University in Tallahassee, injuring 3 people. Authorities say they responded to a call at 12:30 a.m. about a shooter on campus.
At the time, Strozier Library, as you can imagine, was packed with students who were studying for final exams. Our estimates right now are anywhere from 300 to 400 students.
I got up to go get water at the water fountain, and right when I make it to the fountain, someone runs up the stairs and says, "There's a guy with a gun, everyone get out."
Inside the library, some students scrambled to get to fire exits. Others used furniture to make barricades.
All the students on the second floor ran to the back of the library, the second floor. So we barricaded the back stairwell, which is where we were all sitting and kind of hiding.
Students also used social media to share information and ask for prayers. One student saying, "Please say a prayer for us. We're stuck in a library with a shooter in the building." Officers say the shooter was confronted on the steps of the library and told to drop his weapon. Instead, the shooter fired around at campus police, who shot back, killing him.
We heard like 9 to 10 gunshots, and everyone just took off running and screaming.
At least 2 of the victims were taken to the hospital. Classes are canceled today, while students on campus are stunned. We still don't know much about the gunman, who he is, and a possible motive, but police may address that at a 3 p.m. press conference. Matt and Savannah, back to you.
All right, that's Garin Flowers of WTLV. Garin, thank you very much.
Dozens are making their voices heard in opposition of a proposed law creating gender-restricted bathrooms in Florida.
I get discriminated.
That subjects me to violence.
That this bill is unnecessary.
To discriminate against
the transgender community.
I'd ask you to please vote no.
Think that was a lot? The comments went on for close to 2 hours. More than 50 people speaking up in a meeting with some state lawmakers.
Millions of women will be required to allow anyone that presents as male into their restroom.
Jean-David Parlier from Tampa is a transgender male. He and many others in the LGBT community say this bill comes down to one thing: discrimination.
I was with one of our fine state museums, and the women did not want me in their bathroom.
The bill, created by Representative Frank Artilles, would make it illegal for you to use a public bathroom labeled for the opposite gender. Someone who breaks the law could be slapped with a first-degree misdemeanor. Artilles and some supporters of his bill say it creates privacy and safety for people using the bathroom of their biological gender.
We need this legislation. This is about privacy. This is about dignity. This is about safety.
When does your privacy outweigh my privacy? And that is the issue and the central theme that not one person has addressed.
Trans lives matter! And afterwards, a fired-up crowd couldn't hold back their emotions. The bill has one more committee stop before it can be considered for a final vote in the House. Boom! Just like that, shots rang out, screams emanated from rooms, and the rest all happened in just seconds. Luckily, this is just a drill.
I just sat in on the training for Sandy Hook, which literally brought tears to my eyes.
The FAMU Police Department hosted a mass shooter training on campus. Officers with various agencies stormed down the hall to nab a single shooter in this first drill.
There's a lot of things you're taking in, everything's moving very quickly.
It was loud and very intense just to watch, but for the officers, they understand this could be a real situation.
I do not have a background in this at all. It's my first exposure to this, and it's very thought-provoking to be placed in these situations.
An analysis by the USA Today shows more than 200 mass shootings have occurred in the last 8 years, with more than 900 people killed, making a training like this one critical.
And if you've already trained together, you're familiar with what each other will do, so it will make it easier for us to go in and eliminate the threat for our faculty, staff, and students.
The officers have to wear their entire gear, not only for safety, but to actually simulate a mass shooting situation. Because you never know when real danger might knock on the door. In Tallahassee on FAMU's campus, Garin Flowers, 10 News.
Now, we called the other big state universities to see if they conduct mass casualty drills. All of them said they do once a year, though the University of Tampa said they don't really have any plans.